Review. Aquaman is a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Even though I have superhero fatigue and had low expectations going into this movie, I was pleasantly surprised how fun it was. The movie is able to show Aquaman as superhuman, but at the same time broken emotionally. And in that, we, the audience, are able to feel empathy for him and be connected to him. And as he rises through his struggles, we are able to rise too. The movie tells the origin story of Aquaman and has Nicole Kidman playing Aquaman's mother, which was quite fun to see. It tells the story of his rise as a kind of misfit outcast, albeit superhuman, to find his place and of course saving the world. The plot follows the usual superhero tropes, and others have described it as Indiana Jones meets Black Panther, and I would somewhat agree. It doesn't try and take itself too seriously, but at the same time the hero is in a situation where he faces a real challenge, and it's enjoyable watching him overcome the odds. There is of course a love interest, and though a lot of it is predictable and nothing you haven't seen before, it's a bit like the pizza that you love. There's a reason that you keep ordering it. The movie didn't spend too much time in the childhood origin, which I think is nice. It's not trying to be a serious Dark Knight type superhero movie. If you enjoyed Thor Ragnarok, you might enjoy this. It does have a sense of humor. I enjoyed the music. There's a scene where they are running on top of buildings and the music that is playing has a video game tone. It's like Mario Brothers or something, which I thought was quite fun. Other than that, I didn't really notice the music, which is probably right. The music was doing its job. The world that was created under the sea was sufficiently rich and vast. I could imagine it being like at the level of a Tolkien novel. It's like someone made an effort to write a backstory, to tell us all the supporting elements of the film, and it wasn't one-dimensional. I suppose the downside to all of that is if Aquaman becomes a hit, one day we might get sequels in the Aquaman universe, which I don't think there's a danger of anytime soon. I do kind of wonder though if there would be enough material to sustain a second movie, because in a sense it's almost like Thor under the sea. But the story does also talk about the Seven Kingdoms. No, this isn't Game of Thrones. So maybe we'll end up getting all kinds of intrigue like that. But for that to be interesting, the heroes must be fallible. Like in Game of Thrones, Daenerys starts off completely naked. And even though she eventually can command fierce dragons, she needs the cunning of a dwarf to help her solve difficult problems. That's the kind of thing that makes Game of Thrones interesting, to me at least. Will Aquaman ever dare to go into that direction? Who knows. But the world is sufficiently rich and interesting. I think the main idea of the movie is to show a hero's journey, and that even though somebody can be all powerful, they can also be an outcast and have an emptiness that they're trying to fill. But it's hardly a session on the psychologist's couch. It's still a lot of fun. Break out the popcorn, nachos, and giant-sized cola. It is fun escapism. I think Jason Momoa, cast as Aquaman, did a good job, playing the tough guy but with a wink. Even though he clearly puts time in at the gym, I'd like to see him doing Shakespeare. I think you might be surprised, and of course he is Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. Amber Heard did a decent job as Mera, an Atlantean princess and ultimately love interest. She was entertaining, but didn't really stand out. Would I want to see her doing Shakespeare? I feel if she did, I feel she would be saying rather than owning the lines. I'm not convinced she'd be able to transcend the part. It was fun seeing Nicole Kidman as Aquaman's mother. Her personal brand kind of transcends the film and was more like, look, there's Nicole Kidman in a superhero movie. It's kind of fun watching a serious actor taking something kind of silly so seriously. Patrick Wilson plays the villain. He does a good job and the character is a bit camp, but there is not 1 minute where I think he could possibly triumph. Contrast that to Black Panther, where Michael B. Jordan's character is so imposing, you really do wonder if Black Panther is going to die in the end. Here that doesn't even cross your mind. Is this movie worth a watch? I think so. It's unashamedly fun, and there's lots of stuff that explodes, which is pretty satisfying. It is one of the better superhero films. It has the humor of Thor Ragnarok and the early Iron Mans, but doesn't reach the level of Christopher Nolan's Batman. But it doesn't try go there, and it's a good thing it doesn't. Obviously there are tie-ins for a sequel, but it's not like the recent Avengers movies where you feel like you're watching a 2-hour episode of a 10-part series. This is a satisfying meal to eat. I give this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. I would say Black Panther is an 8, and Thor Ragnarok a 7.6, with The Dark Knight being 10. I am a Christopher Nolan fanboy. I got my entertainment fix watching this movie. Also, another interest of mine is value investing in the stock market, in which I have had some success. I can teach you how to value a company in 7 minutes for free. Click on the link below if you're interested. That's getrichslow.net. Just remember, you can lose money as well as make money in the stock market, and I'm not responsible for how you use the information on how to value a company. You're totally responsible for your profits and losses. Subscribe, comment, like, share, and bang the bell to be notified of my next video. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.